So this month's asana practice will be a merging of the Saturnian elements and the Neptunian elements. Saturn, again, being structure and stability, and the more rational and grounded aspects of who we are. Neptune being the spacious, expansive, bigger picture, dissolving boundaries aspect of who we are. And both of these elements are really important for creating a place in the center. And so from a tantric perspective, the answer is always in the center, or in the middle, or the midline. The midline, mudya. So it even sounds like middle in a way. And so when we bring the different elements of who we are together, creating integration, it allows us to live from a more whole, full place in our lives. So take a good seat, lean to one side, take one hand to your inner thigh and one hand to your buttock. Literally spin the inseam of your thigh down toward the earth as you widen your sitting bone out to the side, and then lean to the other side. Do the same thing. So here's the structure that we're creating. Saturn. That's going to allow the top of your sacrum to tip in, so in toward your spine and up toward your crown. And then allow your sitting bones to get heavy. So there's a heaviness, a groundedness in your pelvis, and simultaneously a lightness and a spaciousness in your torso. And the image I've been using lately for the palate, bridle your palate. So imagine as though there's a bridle attached to your palate, drawing the tops of the ears up and back. Allow the center of your palate to rest over the center of your pelvis, and then close your eyes. Open to your breath. Open to the Neptunian realm. It's the unseen realm. With each of your next few inhales, welcome your breath through your nostrils. Exhale through your mouth. Just letting fall away all that needs to fall away so that you can be completely present with yourself, with your practice. And then notice how the natural spanda or pulse of your breath connects you more deeply with yourself and with the presence that is available right now in this moment. Imagine the midline of your body running from the crown of your head all the way down the length of your spine, out through the pelvic floor and down into the core of the earth. And then this midline runs back up from the core of the earth, up the central channel, out the crown of your head and into the heavenly realm. Each inhale is an energetic opportunity to connect more fully with the center, with your own midline, your own center. And each exhale allows the energy of the middle to expand out. Inhaling, gather yourself in the center, Saturn. Exhale, expand beyond perceived boundaries, Neptune. And allow this pulse, each side of the pulse, the ebb and the flow, to merge into each other so that you're holding, embodying both aspects, both Neptune and Saturn, spaciousness and stability within yourself. Equal halves of the same coin. With With your next few rounds of breath, fold your hands to Anjali Mudra at your heart. Anjali means palm. A mudra is a gesture. And this one is for a deep honoring and reverence, even a greeting. And so here we greet Saturn and Neptune and these different archetypal energies that live inside of us. We greet our own higher selves, our own smaller selves, and welcome their integration here. We'll chant, and of course, feel free to join me from wherever you are. I'll chant Om, and then 3 rounds of the Gayatri mantra, and then 1 Om. And this version of the Gayatri, those of you who practice with me regularly, you'll recognize it. Those of you who don't, it will be new to you, but I encourage you to listen and then chime in when you feel called to do so. Welcome in a full breath. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale for Om. Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat Allow the resonance of the mantra to simply resonate, percolate inside of you. And may the energy of luminescence and illumination, may it live within us. May it brighten our thoughts, our words, our actions, so that we may be in alignment with the bigger picture, with the spirit that moves in all things. You can bow your head to your heart if you'd like, and then gently release your hands and open your eyes, and please come to standing. So here is a fun way to do it. I will often just play with coming to standing with no hands. It's good to practice as we age. Cross one ankle in front of the other. I'm doing the one that feels weird, so maybe you'll go the other ankle in front. And then just lean forward and come to standing. And then whatever you happen to be sitting upon, just move that off to the side. And walk to the front of your mat for Tadasana. So I'll invite us to the feet placed inner hip bone distance apart, parallel. So how you know your feet are parallel, you could draw a straight line from the center of your ankle, and that line goes out through the second toe, and those 2 lines on each foot are parallel to each other. And then fold your hands to Anjali Mudra at your heart once again. Welcome in a full breath here. And with your exhale, release your hands to your sides. Inhaling, stretch your arms overhead. And with your exhale, expand. Inhaling, pull into your midline. So hug your feet, legs, arms, hands toward the center. And with your exhale, bow forward for Uttanasana, standing forward fold pose. We'll back up a little bit. And then inhaling, stretch your heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. And with your exhale, fold. Now, if you need to bring your hands to your shins because your legs are bent, please do that. Again, inhaling, stretch your heart forward, gaze forward. And then exhaling, let your breath lead you as you bow, Uttanasana. We'll go 2 more. Let your breath lead you. Inhale, stretch your heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. And with your exhale, step your right leg back to lunge pose. So this is like a runner's lunge. Activate your back leg, so send it up to the sky, and then squaring your hips by pulling your front hip crease back. Find the stability that gives you. Pause here for a breath. And then as you're ready, inhale your hands up to your front thigh. You can push down into your front thigh to get even more of a lift in your back thigh. So lift it up to the sky and then lunge more deeply through your front hip, thigh, knee, and inhaling, stretch your arms overhead. So every inhale, even though your inner body is expanding, it's an opportunity for you to pull energetically toward the center. And then each exhale is an opportunity to stretch out from your center through your limbs, through your periphery. With your next exhale, lower your hands down to the earth and step back, plank pose, Palakasana. So here, shoulders over wrists. And then come back to your breath, feeling, sensing its support, its unseen support. With your next exhale, shift forward a little bit and Chaturanga Dandasana. You might pause. And then with your inhale, rise up, Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. So I'm a big fan of Cobra. It allows the head of the arm bones, which are here, to move back a lot more easily. Keeping the head of your arm bones back, look over each shoulder just to check out what your feet and legs are doing. Make any minor adjustments if you need. And with your exhale, downward facing dog. And here in down dog, ground down, especially through the inner edges of your hands. So your index finger mounds and your thumb mounds. And then even hug your index and thumb fingers together toward each other so you get a sense of connection through your inner hands all the way up your inner arms into the back of your heart. Shoulder blades drawing onto your back body. And again, feel into the support of your breath even as you continue connecting with the physical structure, with the action and alignment cues. With your next inhale, step your right foot through between your hands. Again, runner's lunge. And same thing, with an inhale, as your inner body, your torso expands with breath, send your back thigh up to the sky. So there's a lift there. Then the front hip can pull back and even down, allowing you more stability and structure. And with your next inhale, bring your hands up to your front thigh and pushing down into the front thigh. You might scissor your hips again. So the back hip draws forward and the front hip draws back. And that allows for Saturnian stability. And then with an inhale, stretch your arms overhead and expand the whole shape of the pose. So reach out from your center, through your legs, through your arms, finding freedom, expressing beyond the bounds of your skin even. With your exhale, lower your hands again down to the earth and rock the back foot forward, coming up halfway Ardha, and then exhaling, fold Uttanasana. We'll do that 2 more times. With your inhale, come all the way to standing, reaching your arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhaling, fold your hands to Anjali Mudra at your heart. We'll go like that or something like that a few more times. Inhaling, reach your arms overhead. And with your exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, gaze forward. And with your exhale, this time take your left foot back first for a high lunge. Taking your left fingers off to the side, be on your fingertips, and then bring your right hand to your femur bone. Pushing down into the femur bone, scissor your hips again, lean back, curl back, and stretch your right arm up to the sky. So from your hands and feet, with each inhale, draw energy from the periphery into your center, into your solar plexus T12. With your exhale, expand, stretch out. Exhaling, circle your right hand now to the inner edge of your foot and pivoting your back heel to the earth, dog lunge. So walk your hands more on a diagonal toward the front foot as you bow here, stretching out through your upper body. Feel how the stability in your feet and legs allows you to descend the pelvis toward the earth a little bit more and stretch out through your arms, descending the heart toward the earth, the energetic heart, a little bit more. Arms are steady so that the heart can be soft. Inhaling, rise back up, lifting your back heel, walk your hands to either side of your front foot, and then stretch your right leg into the air behind you for three-legged dog pose, making sure that your hands, arms are stable. And then here, opening your hip, reach your foot over to the side wall and stretch. Notice what your left foot and knee are doing. So keep the knees soft if you're a hyperextender. Keep engaging the arches. Inhale now. Make your right leg straight, and with your exhale, simply lower the foot to the earth. Inhale, come on forward, plank pose. And with your exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rise up, Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Again, you might look over each shoulder to see that your feet and legs are lined up. Downward facing dog with the exhale. And feel into the way that your breath is creating a cohesive connection. It's a thread of connection between and among all parts of your body and all facets of your experience. Inhale your left foot through between your hands and take your right fingertips over to the side. Now here, with the left hand on the femur bone, push down and out so that you can create lots of space through the sides of the body. Here, this right arm bone, it tends to pull forward. So draw it back. That'll help you get a connection of shoulder blade on back body. Maintaining that, lean back. Again, float the tops of your ears back and stretch your arm up to the sky. With your inhale, gather your energy from the periphery into the core. With your exhale, expand. Next, exhale, circle your hand, the left one to the inside of your front foot, and pivoting the back heel to the earth, have your back toes turned in at about a 5-degree angle, and then walk your hands forward on a diagonal toward the front foot. So here, watch the scissoring action. This might be the tendency, collapsing the knee toward the midline. So you're going to actually scissor your hips like that, lifting the back inner thigh, widening the back hip, and drawing the front thigh bone back, plugging it more fully into the hip socket. With the exhale, really stretch out so you can push your hands into the earth to reach back through the back leg and find more length, more connection, more expansion. And then let your breath support you here. Inhaling, lift the back heel, come back to the center, and then reach the left leg into the air behind you for three-legged dog. Same thing, hands and arms and shoulders remain stable, and then stretch it up and over. Spread your toes, and then with your inhale, come back to center. Exhaling, lower the foot down. Inhale, forward, plank pose, and exhale, chaturanga. Let's come all the way down this time. Spin the inseam of your thighs up to the sky. And then with an inhale, shrug your shoulders up toward your ears and lift the head of the arm bones up. So you have a connection there, shoulder blades on your back body. Now, pull your hands isometrically back to slide the sides of your waistline forward and up and curl into a back bend. Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Scoop your tailbone, engage your belly to lengthen all the way through your heart, chest, palate, crown. Exhaling, stretch back to down dog. And then make whatever little adjustments you need. Settle into your breath once again. And at the end of your next exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and then into the exhale, jump. Inhaling, come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhaling, fold. Inhaling, rise to standing, stretch your arms overhead. And with your exhale, Anjali Mudra at your heart. Welcome a full breath here. And with your exhale, lower your hands to your sides. We'll go again. Inhaling, rise up from within. And with your exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. How does the stability, inhale, stretch your heart forward, that you're creating support you in your life? Exhale, back plank pose. Inhaling here, breathe space into the back of your waistline. Lift the thighs and move them up to the back plane of the body. With your exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, rise up, bhujangasana. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bending your knees, look forward. At the end of the exhale, light jump. Inhaling, come up half. And with your exhale, fold. Good. Look down at your feet. And to see that the four corners of your feet are evenly engaging. The big toe mounds, the outer heels, the inner heels, and the baby toe mounds. Keep those reaching down into the earth, and inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale your hands, Anjali Mudra at your heart. We'll do two more Surya Namaskaras. Inhaling, stretch up. And with your exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha. And with your exhale, step back, plank pose. Inhale into your back body and chaturanga. With your next inhale, step your left foot through for low lunge, Anjaneyasana, and lowering the back knee down, keep your back toes tucked. And then with your inhale, rise up, stretch up. Keep energetically pulling your back knee forward, your front foot back. Scooping your tailbone, reach up and out, and down and out. Exhale your hands down to the earth, and step back, plank pose. So let your breath lead the way, staying connected to a bigger picture perspective. And then with your next inhale, step your right foot through between your hands and lower your back knee down. Create a scissoring action with your feet, legs, hips, and then rise up, pulling the back knee forward energetically and the front foot back energetically. Use this support to create more expansion through your upper body And then inhaling, reach your arms overhead. Every inhale, again, an opportunity to really pulse with your breath, gathering your awareness into the center. So strategy, boundary, stability. Every exhale, expanding beyond perceived limitations, moving beyond your limited self. Exhale your hands down to the earth and step back again, downward facing dog. And then bending your knees, look forward, leg jump. And inhale, come up halfway, Ardha. Exhaling, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up. And exhale your hands, Anjali Mudra, at your heart. With your in-breath, feel how your feet and their connection with the earth support a sense of inner lift, drawing the sides of your waistline up out of your pelvis, floating the head of the arm bones and the palate back. With your next exhale, lower your hands, and once more inhale, rise up. And exhaling, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, gaze forward. And then here, with your exhale, keep your upper body elongated as you pull each foot back isometrically, creating a connection of your hamstrings to your femur bone. So engaging hamstrings. Keep the hamstrings engaged as you bow forward. Inhaling, stretch your heart once more. And with your exhale, step or jump, plank pose. And then Chaturanga Dandasana once again. With your inhale, rise up, Bhujangasana. And with your exhale, downward facing dog. Adjust your feet as you need to. And then the same thing here. Feel how each inhale is an opportunity to gather energy from your feet and your hands, all the way up your legs and your arms and into your center. Every exhale being an opportunity to really stretch out and extend from your center through your torso, your spine, your arms, your legs. With your next inhale, step your right foot through between your hands, lunge, pivot the back heel this time to the earth for Utthita Parshva Konasana, and inhale, stretch your left arm alongside your ear. Here, the in-breath, again, a time to gather energy from the feet up the legs into solar plexus, from the hands down the arms into solar plexus, and then exhaling, stretch and expand. The back thigh stays light, so the front hip and thigh can be heavy. See if you can create the same kind of action that you did before with the back leg here. We were in Uttanasana, engaging the hamstrings. So push your left foot down and pull it back isometrically as though you're wiping your left foot on a doormat. Okay, keep that as you circle the top arm for Trikonasana. And here, same thing with the back leg. Energetically pull your left foot back. So you're moving the top of the femur bone back to the back plane of the body and engaging the hamstrings. Now see if you can maintain this connection as you exhale your hand to your hip. If your hamstrings tend to be a bit more stable or tight, bend your front knee. If they're not, simply place your right hand down on the earth. Make sure you get your shoulder blade on your back. Saturnian structure. How are you going to get to this place? Well, make sure you're supporting yourself in the ways that you need to. Stay connected to a bigger perspective though. Now leaning into your right hand, activating your back foot and leg, sweep your right foot forward, and then you might even bend your knee if you feel ready for this, and pushing your foot into your hand, move into the inside Vishvamitrasana stretch. Exhaling, lower your right foot back down, okay, and then slide the foot back a little bit just so you can find stability and structure. Inhaling, rise up to standing, and with your exhale, warrior two. So here what I play with doing is, again, getting my torso lined up evenly over the center of the body. What's going on with the back leg? So as you breathe and get really spacious, feel into, is my back leg engaging in the ways that it could be? Exhaling, stretch your right leg straight. And Trikonasana once more. Cameo, Dakota. And then circle the top arm all the way around. Slide your front foot back a little bit, lifting your back heel. Step up and in. Standing split. So Urdhva Prasarita Ekapadasana, UPEP. And then exhale, fold over your front leg. You might pull, take your right hand to your inner right thigh and just widen your right thigh bone so you have more space to bow. Keep leveling your hips as best you can by spinning the inseam of this left thigh up to the sky. And then exhaling, lower your leg down to the earth. Inhale, come up half. And with your exhale, fold. Inhaling, stretch your heart. And then exhaling, step or jump, downward facing dog. With your next in-breath, step your left foot through between your hands and pivot your right heel to the earth. As you're ready, inhale, stretch your right arm alongside your ear. So the same thing here. Open to your breath. Feel it supporting you. Soften any expectation that you have, but also soften any self-imposed limitation. Pull the top of your right thigh back and even energetically drag your right foot back so that you feel your hamstrings engaging. The hamstrings are in the back of the leg, just to be clear. Awesome. With your exhale, Trikonasana. So circle the top arm down and around. I like to go a little bit longer with this stance for triangle pose because it allows for more energetic expansion. It also allows for more weightiness in the pelvis, which is a really good thing in this pose. That weightiness in the pelvis gives rise to a more expanded experience in the upper body. And then from here, same thing, exhaling, lower your hand to your hip, top hand. Then looking down at the floor, if you tend to be stable in hamstrings, you're going to bend your front knee a little bit or use a block. If not, simply place your left hand down, shoulder blade on the back. So that is shoulder blade off the back, that's shoulder blade on the back. Now make your back leg super steady. If you touch your inner thigh, your hamstrings, you feel them super engaged, okay? So pulling the back foot back energetically and even hugging the heel toward the midline. With an inhale, get really spacious. With an exhale, begin to toe heel or squiggle the foot forward and then bending the knee. Take hold of the toe, big toe or outer edge of the foot and stretch. Pushing your foot into your hand, top one, will keep the hamstrings properly engaged. With your exhale, lower your left foot down all the way and then adjust your stance as needed, maybe shortening it a little bit, and then inhaling, rise up to standing, and with your exhale, bend your front knee to 90, toward 90. Feel your breath, sense your pose. Which parts of you tend to overwork? Usually glutes, quads. Which part of you underworks? Maybe inner thighs. So engage those. And then energetically expand from your center, reach down and out and up and out. Inhale your left leg straight. Exhale back into Trikonasana. And then exhaling here, circle your top arm forward and around. Lifting your back heel. Bend your front knee, back knee. Spring off the back leg to Ardha UPEP or standing splits. And then with your exhale, as you spin the inseam of this right thigh up to the sky, like that, bow over your front leg, and you might, like we did on the other side, kind of grab your inner thigh from the back and widen it over to the left. And that'll help spin your navel and your belly over to the left. And then exhaling, lower your right foot by your left foot and fold. Inhaling, come up half, Ardha Uttanasana. And then with your exhale, bow in. Inhaling, rise up. And with your exhale, fold your hands. Anjali Mudra at your heart. Close your eyes, 3 breaths. Feel here as you close your eyes into your own inner experience. Feeling into the spacious presence that is always available and with you. And then sense how the structure of your physical body supports you so that you can move beyond perceived limitations. So that the old stories of who you thought you were can dissolve in order to create room for what is wanting to unfold this year from within you, from the infinite possibilities that live inside of you and your very own heart. And with your exhale, release your hands and open your eyes. You can put a handstand in. So if you have a handstand practice, you know, it's nice to have a little bit of space. You don't have to throw it into a flow. If you do throw it into a flow, that's totally good. But I'd like to give you the opportunity to move into the middle of the room or move up against the wall, even to a half handstand, like an L pose, okay? I'll just simply go through the motions with you. So 4 corners of the hands, index mound, and then outer heel of the hand, inner heel of the hand, and then baby finger mound. So we want those 4 corners really active, especially the inner edges of the hands. They're really powerful, and isometrically hugging the fingers, index and thumb fingers, toward each other, also really helpful. Now I like to be on a hardwood floor or a hard floor of some sort. So I move my mat out of the way. If that's your preference, please do it. And then once you come to all fours, really ground down, again, through the finger pads, okay, and the 4 corners. With an inhale, Neptune. So create space for your own inner experience to expand beyond your self-imposed limitations. Exhale, shoulder blades on your back. Widen through collarbones, and then engage solar plexus. So I'm going to keep all that. I'm going to step a foot forward and play with kicking. Look forward. I'm going to kick the chair. Make sure you look back. Make sure you're not going to kick anything in your space. And just play with giving a couple kicks. Really push through big toe mounds. Feet are super active. And once you've given that a go, and take the time that you need, you can do a little wrist stretch. So I like getting back into my body first. And then squeezing, so going 2 fingers with above, which is toward the elbow. Okay, so it's above. 2 fingers with above the ulnar styloid process. It's the bony outie thing. Okay, squeeze there. So the ulna, you're squeezing together with the other wrist bone that I'm forgetting. And then pull down toward the elbow and just circle around. So you're squeezing the bones together to create space in your carpal tunnel area. And it feels really good. And then do that on the other side. Awesome. Okay, and then come on back, set your mat back up as it was. And walking to the front of your mat to Tadasana, once again, just feel how doing a handstand or some variation of handstand has affected your experience. Maybe you feel more exhilarated, or fill in the blank. And then just with your exhale, kind of swaha. Swaha means let it drain off, release it, surrender it, let go of it. So standing on your left leg, activate your left foot by creating a suction cup, and then bring your right foot to your inner left thigh and hugging your right foot to your left thigh and your left thigh to your right foot. Establish your midline really solidly. And then feeling how this supports you, inhale and stretch your arms overhead. And it can be interesting learning to work in the body in new ways. I know for me, changing patterns in my body has been interesting. So here, tendency might be to collapse and sink in. So feel how when you push your foot and your leg into each other, you can grow a few inches. And this hugging in action supports the lift through the back body, through the center of the body, and allows for more energy flow, more breath flow, more life. Then from here, we'll go to Virabhadrasana 3. So inhale the right knee toward the middle, and then exhaling, start to stretch out. Now what I like to do first is just touch the floor so I can level my hips. It's a little bit harder to come up from the floor, but it's a good challenge. And so breathing space into your back waistline, stretch out through your whole pose. And then with your exhale, lower your hands back down, glide back. We'll go to Virabhadrasana 1. So the back foot here is turned at a 45-degree angle. Now play here with scissoring your hips a lot, really lifting your back inner thigh, and then spiraling your right hip forward. This will help you draw your left hip back, and from there you can stretch out. Deep breaths here. Inhaling, gather. Exhaling, expand. And then with your next exhale, lower your hands down to the earth. Lift your back heel, and then lowering the back knee down, toe heel your front foot over to the right, and bring your left knee to the outside of your arm. Toe heel your front foot over to the right, and then taking the knee to the outside of your arm, you might bring your foot in so that your shin is on a smaller angle, or you might leave your front shin parallel to the front of your mat. Then take a look over your right shoulder to see that your back leg is parallel to the sides of your mat. We'll do a quad stretch first. So bending your back knee, bring your left hand to the midline, and take hold of the inner edge of the foot, and then bending your elbow up to the sky, swivel your hand on the foot so you can push down on it. But I'm not just pushing down. So we always want to give a reciprocal action. So you can kind of push your foot just a little into your hand as you push your hand into your foot. Scoop your tailbone, lift your belly to float the tops of the ears back. So this supports the opening in the front of your body. Okay, if you want to go into a mermaid or merman version, you absolutely can. And then with your exhale, release and pigeon prep. For this one, depending on how open or stable your hips are, you might lower down to here, okay? I'm going to encourage you not to just hang out and take a nap in pigeon, okay? So either stay here, you might put a block under your forehead, that's cool. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, spin your upper body over to the right, push your right hand into your left foot into your right hand, and watch how I'm scissoring my hips even here, okay? And that's gonna create more cohesive connection and then more expansion as well. Notice the flow of your breath and allow it to expand all the way into pelvic floor, all the way up through the base of your throat and neck. Feel where your breath could be moving a little more freely and welcome it to that part of your body. Good, and then from here, rise back up, lean to your left, sweep your right leg around, and stack. Stack your right ankle over your left knee and your right knee over your left ankle. Now the tendency here is to sickle the feet like this. So we sickle by really overextending the outer edge of the ankle. So draw the baby toe side of the foot back toward the outer knee. And even if your legs are like this, it's better that the knee is protected than, having a flat, structure of the pose. So Saturn says, yeah, it's actually better to do yoga and not have knee pain. Okay, just the practical side of things. And then if your knees are pretty high, you're going to sit up on a blanket or 2 or 3 so that the navel is higher than the knees. Widen your sits bones like we did in the beginning, back and apart, and then pushing your feet into your hands and your hands into your feet. Inhale, lengthen through your crown, and with your exhale, bow forward. Maybe you might just be tipping forward, and that could be plenty. Those of you who tend to be pretty open in your hips, root yourself down. So make sure your sitting bones stay heavy. So if you're more stable, keep tipping your low back in and up so you're not rounding like this. And if you're more organic or fluid, bendy, keep rooting your sitting bones into the earth so that you're balanced. You're not overstretching at your groins. You're not binding them. Inhaling, lengthen, rise up, and then stretching both legs out. Do some windshield wipers. And then from here, place your feet, come to standing. Here we are again, feel Tadasana, the space in the center. And then standing on your right leg, walk to where you need to on your mat. Create a suctioning energy through the sole of the foot. And pushing your foot into your leg into your foot. Reach your arms overhead. When there's a large task at hand, what do you do? What's normally your response? So just by knowing the way that consciousness works in us as individuals can be so empowering. You're not the stories that you tell yourself that you are, whether they're grandiose or from a place of unworthiness. So what is wanting to come through you in this very moment? Inhale your left knee to the midline and pushing through the big toe mound. Exhale, stretch back. Warrior 3 with the hands down. And then once you level your hips, inhale, rise up. Warrior 3. Keep spinning the inseam of your left thigh up to the sky. And we'll go one more full breath. And then with your exhale, lower your hands back down to the earth. Glide back to Warrior 1 legs and take the time that you need to adjust. Inhale, rise up. So I know each side, sometimes it feels like we have 2 different bodies. And so for each side, we might have to do something different. So for me to really get my hips level or more level here, I have to help myself with a manual adjustment. So I'm just lifting my back inner thigh and then spiraling the hip forward so the front hip can draw back. Each inhale allows you to gather. Each exhale allows you to expand. How do your feet and their structure give you stability and support? One more full breath here. And then with your exhale, lower your hands down to the earth. Lift your back heel, lower your back knee, and then begin to toe heel your front foot over to the side. Widen your knee to the outside of your arm, and then move your front foot shin any amount that you need in order to be, let's say, comfortable but not too comfortable. And then gaze over your left shoulder, check it out, see what your back leg is doing. And then with your inhale, just settle. With your exhale, energetically stretch back from your center through your back leg. And then bringing the right hand to the middle, take hold of your inner foot, push down on the foot. And again, spread your toes so your foot is still supporting your knee even here. Inhaling, get really spacious through the sides of your body. And with your exhale, move your tailbone down and forward. Lift your belly up. And then breathe fullness everywhere. And with your next exhale, you might hook your foot, inhale your arm up, move into a mermaid, merman version of the pose. And then with your exhale, release and readjust as you need to. If you'd like to twist your upper body just a little bit, you can take your left hand, push it into the sole of your right foot, and then in doing that action, scissor your hips. So your outer right hip draws back and even down. Deep breaths here, whichever version of the pose you're taking. Feel into your own inner experience and what's wanting to arise for you. The place of intuition, the place that is beyond rational mind. And then with your next inhale, rise back up, lean to your right, and sweep your left leg around. Agni Stambhasana. So this is symbolic of the fire that the Brahmins would create and perform their rituals at. So it represents, push your feet into your hands, hands into your feet, bow forward. So it represents the friction that's caused, that we create in the practice, and what we're actively choosing to surrender, so that we create space for what's wanting to manifest itself through our lives, through us. Inhaling, lengthen, rise up. And then once again, windshield wipers. And then if you'd like to bounce your legs a little bit, you can. Like that. And then placing your feet, just to be even, rise back up. And this time, we'll take one more quad stretch. So go back to downward facing dog. And then inhale your left foot through between your hands. Low lunge. This time, bend your back knee. And I think it's helpful to put the front hand on the thigh. Take hold of your back foot. And then pulling your back knee forward energetically. Draw your front foot and hip back. And this is really nice. Push down and out with your left hand on your femur to get more space through the center. Tops of the ears flow back. And you might add the arm as you feel ready, or not. And then exhale, release. That is amazing. Switch sides as you'd like. So this is Pigeon Prep 2. Pulling the back knee forward, draw the front hip back. Pushing down and out with the right hand will give you heaviness in your front foot, lightness in your right waistline, space for your breath. As you scoop your tailbone and send energy from your center down through your pelvis and through your feet and legs, feel how that supports you in lifting up through your inner body. And exhale, release. Good. From here, we'll come back to kneeling. Have your toes tucked under, like so. And just look back behind you on each side. See that you could draw a straight line from the center of your knee back through your heel, okay? The center of the heel. So your feet aren't too close together because that'll create a binding in the low back. They're not too far apart, which can feel weird. The sacroiliac joints are not well supported with that. So right in the middle. And then again, with an inhale, get spacious. If you have a block handy, grab it now. Place it between your upper inner thighs. This is your midline. So you can do lots of yoga work with the block. So feel what it's like to hug the block with your inner thighs and push the tops of your thighs back. Okay, so you are sticking your tush out behind you. And now maintain this feeling of hugging in to widen out. So hugging in to broaden the sitting bones apart. And then as you lift your belly and move your tailbone down, notice how that gives you a lift through the front of the body. Shoulders, so the head of the arm bones go up and back. Okay, they go up and back. So that's going to give me lots of length here. Letting go of the stories to expand beyond them, using stability and structure to help do that. Okay, you might go one hand at a time and then watch tops of the ears flow back, and you can look behind you. You're not just letting your head and neck go though. Feel the support of your breath. Feel the support of your structure and of your midline as you rise up. Squeeze the midline, and then from your center, root down to let the heart lead the way as you rise up. Okay, this time we'll point the toes back behind. Get spacious through the sides of your body, hugging into the block, stick your tush out, and then lift your navel as you move the tailbone down. Take the other hand back first. So how are you supporting yourself? Are you hugging the midline with your legs? See if you can create that sensation, that sense of stability. With an inhale, as you get really heavy from your center through your legs, let your breath lift you up. And then pause if you need to sit down for a moment. Sit down, move the block out to the side, and enjoy a couple rounds of breath. We'll move into Urdhva Dhanurasana, which is full wheel pose. Really, it's upward facing bow pose. Okay, again, connecting with a sense of stability from the periphery into the center, and then expanding from the center out. Okay, so lie on your back and check your feet. I love doing this. Check your feet now and don't move them. So see that they're outer hip bone distance apart, parallel. There's the same amount of space between each foot and the side of the mat. You can scoot pretty close to them. There's probably 6 inches here, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. And then once you get here, place your hands by your ears and go pretty wide with your hands. So if you're trying to do this with your hands right by your head, it is not going to work. You're not getting spacious enough. Neptune wants us to get really spacious with our vision. And then we use the stability and the support of Saturn to really feel a sense of form. Okay, so from the formless comes form, and then we get to expand what that form looks like and feels like. So here, deepen your thigh bones into your hip sockets. You're not doing this, okay? The thigh bones deepen into the hip sockets. It'll feel like you're sticking your bum out a little. It's okay. And then here, deepen your armpits toward the floor. Okay, so both of those actions are supportive. Pulling your feet back isometrically activate hamstrings to lift the hips, and hollowing out armpits, curl to the top of your head, shoulder blades on your back, rise on up. Feel your breath, and I didn't say this, pretend the block is there between your upper inner thighs. So hug into the block, move it toward the floor, and then engage your belly and stretch. And then curling chin to the chest to come on down. Soften, close your eyes, feel your breath, and go in. So today, the day that I'm filming this is the 5th. So we'll do 5 back bends for today. Okay, that was one. I'll check the feet, so make sure your feet are well placed. Place your hands, come on up halfway, full way. You might walk your feet back a little bit, going a little more deeply. And keep hollowing your armpits here, shoulder blades on your back, and then pump your heart forward. So we hug the midline with the legs and with the arms. Feel how hugging the midline allows you to find even more freedom. Chin to the chest, come on down. And pause once again in the center. You might close your eyes and rest inwardly. Really savor the place where your mind quiets and softens, and you're with the experience of presence itself. Place your feet well. Place your hands well. Rise up as you're ready. Even here, you can claw the floor with your finger pads and spread your toes. Notice there will be more freedom with each back bend. So the freer we get, the more it requires us to support ourselves. How much support do you need and where do you need it? Come on down as you're ready. And we'll do 2 more. Rest inwardly. Good. Place your feet, and just again, use your eyes as a tool to see that things are placed skillfully. Rather than flattening the low back, again, move your sits bones toward the floor here by sticking your tush out a little bit. And then feel how when you pull your feet back isometrically, your hamstrings engage. You can even use your hands as a tool. Okay, cool. Hugging the midline with your feet and legs, place your hands, and then come on up to the top of your head. Hug the midline with your hands to rise up. Rock a little bit. You might add a variation, lifting a leg. I like to turn the bottom foot out a little bit, although the knee does keep hugging the midline. Right, so again, the more freedom we have, the more boundaries we create, not so that we stifle ourselves, but just so that we support ourselves and our practices, our communities, all those things that are important to support. This feels good. You can take your feet wide and then rest your knees in toward each other. Close your eyes, settle. Deepen your breath. And then this will be the last back bend of the day. So I'll offer you another variation if you'd like to take it. Those of you who want to work into, if your arms are straight in Urdhva Dhanurasana, you can work Dvipada or Ekapada Viparita Dandasana. Okay, Eka 1, Dvi 2, Pada foot. Viparita is inverted and Dandasana is staff pose. So 1 or 2 footed inverted staff pose. Fun. So I'll place my hands. I always use my eyes, it's helpful. Come to the top of the head. Come on up. And then lowering back down, your hair might get in the way, just move it if it does. You'll take your arms for Shirshasana 1, so headstand. And then pushing down into the forearms, really work your shoulder blades onto your back to lift your head. Turning left foot out just a little. Bring your right knee in, curl your heart forward, stretch the leg. Deep breath here. And then placing right foot down, you can turn it out again. Slowly lift left leg and then stretch it out. Holy psoas, Batman. You might feel your psoas muscles, your iliac muscles in your belly. And then placing head back down, hands to the earth, and then chin to the chest, come on down. For this one, stretch your legs out. Just look and see that you're even. You can do a little bit of a T in your upper body. And a few deep rounds of breath here. And then bending your knees. Shift your hips to the left as you roll to the right and use your hands to come up to sitting. And so to counter that, rather than doing like an intense forward fold, we'll start with something basic like downward facing dog. So come on back to down dog. And what's key here is that your thigh bones are moving to the back plane of your body. Okay, so the tops of the thighs are moving back in order to create an opening in the hamstrings, also a quieting of the nervous system. Inhaling, step your left foot through. Having to give myself a little room here. Lower the back knee. And then work your front leg to straight for Hanuman. Okay, we're just kind of going to go for it. And then here, check out your back leg parallel again to the sides of the mat. And now the tendency is just to come really out of connection, thigh bones to hip sockets. So keep pulling your left foot back energetically, even as you're stretching out. Okay, so the left heel drags back energetically. You might even walk your hands over to the right to work. The right thigh widens over to the right. The warmer it is in your house, the easier it is to do this. So remember that. And the warmer it is in your body. But again, we want to be safe with how we're working. So engaging the muscles to stretch them is always going to be key for that. 2 more breaths. I had to make myself start doing this pose again. So I think it's nice to deepen relationship with poses that we tend to avoid. And then use your hands to come on back up. Switching sides, bring your right leg forward. Same thing, just check that your back leg's parallel to the sides of the mat. And then dragging your left foot back, your right foot back energetically. Stretch back through the back leg, forward through the front leg. You might walk your hands to the left this time, and that allows you to widen this left thigh. Widen the thigh over to the left. That helps me a lot, actually. Deep breaths here. Saturn might be like, this is freaking hard. And I want to get out of here. You know, I'll never be able to do that. And Neptune says, well, just breathe. See what happens right now. You never know what you're capable of. Right? And then using your hands to push down, come back. You might take a child's pose here if that feels good. Or if you're happier in Vajrasana, this one, that's totally good. If you're child's posing, have your knees separated, big toes touching. Take your thumbs to your hip creases and fold forward. I like to bring my palms together and rest them behind my head here for a good tricep stretch. Allow your breath to deepen, your pelvis to settle, your energy to settle. And with your inhale, slowly rise up to sitting. Come forward a little bit and then have a seat. If you need to sit up on something, please do. For Janu Shirshasana, take your left knee pretty wide, so you're going to go beyond 90 degrees, and the ball mound of the left foot will touch the right leg, and then the heel of the left foot will be closer to the left leg. Widen your sits bones back and apart, and then inhale, get really spacious through the sides of your body. Make sure your sacrum's tipping in and up, so your low back is not rounding like this. And with your exhale, spin your navel over to the right. Reach your left hand to over the top of the foot or the outside of the calf and fold forward. Inhale and come up halfway. And with your exhale, as you hug the midline, spin your navel a little bit more to the right and bow over your right leg. Feel your breath supporting you. And keep pushing your right heel down and dragging it energetically back. Every inhale giving you more stability. Every exhale allowing you to stretch, pushing your foot into your hand, lengthening through your crown. Find more of a spacious perspective. Feel into the way that the pose is settling you, grounding you, freeing you. Inhaling, lengthen, rise up, switch sides. And again, the right ball mound will touch the left inner thigh, and the right heel will touch the right inner thigh. Widen your sits bones back and apart, and then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, spin your navel over to the left, and then fold. Inhaling, come up halfway. Pushing left heel down, pull it back isometrically as you bow. So this will stretch what's called the quadratus lumborum, or the QL. It's the love handle muscle, as we lovingly call it. And it feels really good. So again, feel into your breath. Keep the left arm active to help the shoulder blades stay on the back body. Inhaling, lengthen, and rise up. Stretch both legs out. Widen your sits bones back and apart. And pushing your fingers into the earth. Low back tips in and up. The side ribs move up and back. The head of the arm bones and the palate draw back. Ground your thighs into the earth. Soften your gaze. Deepen your breath. So Dandasana. So now we'll move into a meditation. I encourage you to sit up on something comfortable. I like a blanket that's folded into 3, so taking it from the blanket stack and doing a tri-fold like so. And then sit upon your blanket and can take whichever legs feel appropriate. Siddhasana, Sukhasana, or some version in between. Widen your sits bones back and apart, and put on whatever warm clothing you might need. And then feel your spine. Feel it elongating. And join your index and thumb fingers together. Turn your palms down for this one, for grounding. But we also recognize that when we're grounded through the lower body, that allows us to feel spacious and free in the upper body, including the mind. Move your sits bones down into the earth and close your eyes once you feel ready. I often like to personify the planets, Saturn being like Father Time with a really long beard, making his way through the ages. Neptune being the mystic, the one who is seated in meditation, who enjoys this otherworldly, ephemeral perspective. And yet these two energies are invited to merge, to be integrated within your own consciousness. So allow your pelvis to settle, allow your spine to be lengthy, allow your breath to be natural. And tapping into the natural rhythm of your breath, let it connect you once again with your own inner experience. The way that your breath moves within you. The way that it sings your cells and dances your energy field to life. Let each exhale be a letting go. Neptune is also about letting go of what doesn't serve, so that you can be present with what does. Feel the stability and the structure of your seat, of your body. In this body temple. in this place where your spirit has come to reside for a little while. Notice how simply lining up your spine creates more space for your breath to move within you. Let your breath connect you with your central channel, the Sushumna, she who is most gracious, also the Mudya, the midline. With every inhale, sense this midline with greater clarity, whether it's through a visual image or a sensory kinesthetic experience. And with every exhale, allow this midline to grow longer and more expansive. The inhale draws you into your own center, this channel. The exhale allows the energy from the central channel to emanate out, literally moving beyond the bounds, moving beyond perceived bounds, so that eventually, perhaps, you expand energetically beyond your skin, and yet still held and supported by the structure, the stability of your body. Open your mind up. Create an inner listening. What are the messages that your heart, the part of you that is beyond rationality, what are the messages that your heart has to offer you? As though you're listening intently, open to receive what arises, whether it's words, sensations, insights, however they come. Stay connected to the vibrant flow of your breath. And if it pulls you into a place of Neptunian awareness, where you merge with all of life, wonderful. If you stay with the vibration, the feeling of your breath, it's soothing you, keeping you present. Wonderful. How does the structure that you create in your life, the structure around your practices, within your practices, allow you freedom and opening? How could you create more structure to support your Neptunian endeavors, your mystical, otherworldly, spiritual endeavors? How could you allow this Neptunian awareness that is vast, spacious, and expansive beyond anything the mind can comprehend to enter into your daily life, so that reality is as it is, and yet it's perhaps a little more expansive or open or free or spacious than you once thought it could be. Rather than thinking about these questions, allow the questions to be enough. Come back to your center. Abide in this place. For those of you who would like to remain seated in meditation, please remain seated. If you would like to now take Shavasana, be gentle with yourself, shifting off of whatever you happen to be sitting upon, moving it off to the side, and then reclining. Just make sure as you lie down that you take a few moments to look over your body and see that it's lined up skillfully. And once you're in Shavasana, allow all of it to fall away. Swaha. There is a surrendering of, a letting go of all that we've even been talking about and doing in order to simply be within the experience of what is. Allow the weight of your bones to sink into the support of the earth so that your energy body expands. Your muscles release their effort with each exhale, giving you a deep sense of support. Receive the embrace of the earth. With each exhale, go more and more deeply into your own experience, that of consciousness, the bigger consciousness that knows no bounds, no limits, experiencing itself through you and your own microcosmic self. Or can you release a little bit more? Effort or resistance. Allow yourself to bask in your own inner experience. Connecting so deeply with your own innermost nature that the individual part of you merges with all of life, all of reality. Begin to gently bring awareness back to the room. Keeping your eyes closed, stay connected inwardly and with your breath, feeling, perceiving, sensing the earth beneath you, the room around you, your own physicality. Receive a deep breath and start to softly invite movement into your toes, your fingers, your legs and arms if you're in Shavasana. If you're seated in meditation, stay as you are, coming back energetically. And then those in Shavasana, stretch your arms over your head and your legs in the opposite direction, breathing into your whole body. Bending your knees, make your way over to your side. And pause here, feeling your breath moving into the back of your waistline and into the back of your rib cage and heart. Use your hands to press down into the earth and come up to a good seat. Widen sits bones manually back and apart. And then fold your hands to Anjali Mudra at your heart. May we continue to open to Saturn and the lessons of practicality, realism, stability, structure, and the midline. May we continue to open to Neptune and the lessons of expansiveness and spaciousness, bigger picture orientation, and opening to unseen possibilities. May we merge these two facets of who we are, integrating them so that we can be operating at our potential as humans, making our world a better place by being exactly who we were born to be. And I am so grateful to you for sharing your practice with me, for sharing this course with me, and I'll look forward to checking in with you and hearing more from you. From me to you, namaste.